다음 OK저축은행 프리온 대 광동 프릭스.
Champions are available.
Yeah, I think I'd probably prefer the Talier just because it's effective into the Xante, very good at shutting him down with all his dashes, very good in the Trist.
Whoa!
They opt for the Aurelion Soul, so this is pretty heavily committing to scaling for the side of KT. They have a strong top jungle with the Jax Sejuani, and they really want to lean into power in that top jungle and then have scaling elements on the bottom side of the map. But on the other side, the Seraphine locked in for Andal.
See how he's been doing on the new and improved version. Let's jump onto the Rift for game number 1.
It ends up being a lot of value, so you know, Lipa and Andal would just be looking to harass and keep proccing as much as possible and just getting free money. It was okay, you know, I got really ill, which wasn't so great.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, together, that was, yeah, we went to Mao's wedding. That was a fun, well, other than the getting ill, but yeah. Mao's wedding was really fun.
And the whole time in Indonesia was great. It wasn't until we got home that we were both dead. It was not great.
Chemtech Dragons has gone up.
Maybe it's going to go the way of the Cloud, where people are just going to realize that it's amazing.
No, that's not happening.
Fair bit of value there. That is going to put them in the lead in gold as Deft making a visit towards the top side as well. Piercing Darkness on to Dudu. And because clearing out some of this jungle that is going to be spotted immediately, as Beryl does see exactly what's going on. Let's see whether Dudu can survive this one, though, as Deft picks up the turret aggro. Not going to be able to tank it for too much longer, and almost dies, in fact. He is so incredibly tanky, but there is first blood going over to Casting, and the juggling works out.
Yeah, really well done there by KT. That was a hard dive to pull off. I think Dudu played it about as well as he could.
The turret just isn't able to farm out too much. Farming Cinder now in hand, and as the arrow going to fly on over. That is going to connect onto Deft, who does immediately cleanse it. Bulldog was in rocket jump range.
It's now a 4-minute cooldown, so
yeah,
even bigger.
Oh, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
All right, and I misread it.
Oh.
Everything was correct. Okay, there's Glacial Prison. Beautiful buffer there from Bulldog to get himself out of the way. That is quick on the trigger finger.
Oh, Cuz has just got his first item completed. It looks like they want to try and contest.
Yeah, he's just wandering over. You can see Beryl on a control ward. BDD now walks across a ward himself, and there is an arrow connecting. BDD going to head straight into the Nature's Grasp as now Casting looking for a wraparound, but the rest of KT, they're leaving the situation. The Encore goes completely wide, though, and now Cuz is looking for the opportunity. That is a beautiful gobble, though, as Beryl is going to be able to save his jungler, and now Casting trying to get in amongst it, then gets out of it. And we've got another singularity coming in. Beryl is going to be avoided, and now Cuz is burning down. Finally, someone dies. The health bars are so extraordinarily low, and finally, Bulldog, he will go down. Cuz out of life as well, but now the Dusante is marching his way forward. Deft, going to be very difficult to get out of this one, and there is the flash forward, and Kwandong Freaks will win the fight. Casting going to be able to grab a turret. And okay, Pyosha could be in trouble. There is the Nature's Grasp just to try and get him out of there, but he will be all right, and it does have Aftershock, and all of those buttons were thrown into it.
Yeah, layering the CC wasn't flawless there. You know, a little bit of overlap from Condor Freaks. Condor Freaks have tried to establish some control here. Pyosha is moving up. I still don't think your comp is really in a spot where you're firmly online, but they might try and contest this. Seems risky to me.
It certainly does. Well, they're still going to look for it, as there's a Glacial Prison. That was beautifully landed. Couldn't buffer that one. That is going to be at least the Herald secured here by the Kwandong Freaks as the Shadow dawns over Cuz. And Dudu even able to pick up the eye. That was very sneaky from the Cassante. Is going to be benefiting KT because they're the ones with time on their side. So see how it does go. Shelly pops down into the mid lane here as Dudu going to get into Shelly here. That's a little dangerous, but it is going to be able to take down the turret, and he obviously is a very tanky boy. Able to get out, even though the snare is pretty good there from Deft.
Yeah, it did force everyone from KT towards mid lane to try and defend.
All right. Another bait drop going to come down there, and Pyosik pretty happy to tank it as Dudu is extraordinarily tanky. Tongue Lash connects, and there is an instant cleanse from Lipa to get him out of the way. The arrow is going to come through. A barrel can't cleanse that one, but still the lick is coming through. He's going to be denied there as it's a great ultimate from BDD, but now Dudu's in amongst it. There's the kidnap on Pyosik. Not exactly optimal, but now Bulldog's looking for the resets, but BDD gets into the fog of war. It doesn't matter. Dudu is just too big. He's able to take down Beryl, and now Casting just trying to find something back, but he is dead as well, and KT are crumbling. And Kwandong Freaks will get that soul point they were looking for. The amount of damage that could be raining down in the meantime. Casting moving away from Bulldog, and with good reason. Quantum Freaks all move down 8 seconds until that Dragon is up and available, and Dudu possibly out of position here. Singularity to slow him down, but not in the optimal position, and he basically takes no damage at all. Casting now on a flank angle, but he's spotted here by Bulldog. There's the counter-strike. Arrow going to fly in amongst it as well, as Pyosik taking so much damage. Finally, the skies descend as the Dawning Shadow does a fair bit of work, but this is where the Seraphine can find her options as Beryl dives forward. Dudu looking for Deft. Good flash to get him out of the way, but Beryl is very dead. Just a catfish on the floor. And Quantum Freaks will say thank you very much for the Infernal Soul. So we've got tanks turning into real tanks as the game goes on. And now Beryl, Arrow is going to connect onto the Tahm Kench. Deft in position, but there's not enough grey health for him to eat here as now BDD, he turns up, but he's just a little bit too late. So that is just a free Tahm Kench over to the Quantum Freaks and a Baron up and available. 4 versus 5.
Oh man, this is so hard. Like the Infernal Soul on the side of Quantum Freaks, and they still have Maokai, they still have Seraphine, KT. They feel like they have to contest this, but Dudu on the flank as well. This is so hard to play.
Well, Pyosik gonna try and get in there. He steals it! All right, well, he's going to be sacrificed. Deft also is well and truly out of position. So they lose 2. Beryl is still dead as well. So 3 dead on the side of KT as Quantum Freaks. They fail to get the Baron, but they get all the map control.
Armor pen, because the enemy front line is so tanky. See the replay though, manages to get the health low, and I think the problem here was Quantum Freaks were so focused on the fight and kind of lost focus on the Baron, so a bit of a mistake there. And Quantum Freaks are ready.
Volleys flying through here now as well as BDD hit by a sapling is okay. They do manage to land the Glacial Prison onto Cuz. Teleport to come in though as the Kazante is coming back. Great Encore onto Beryl. He does have some grey health to eat, but I just don't think it's going to be enough to keep him alive. As now BDD just getting chunked out by Bulldog, who's getting the resets. He finds another one. He's just playing Mario on the Rift here as now casting welcome to the LCK. And unfortunately, the first one is going to be an L by the looks of things, as Bulldog going to be able to grab the ace. Here's Tristana looking absolutely incredible here in game number 1 of the summer season for the Quantum Freaks. And I think they're looking to end it here.
Yep, so well played from Quantum Freaks. The composition made sense. They got an advantage, and they never gave KT an angle back into the game. The Elder didn't even get touched. They didn't let any opportunity for Pyosik to steal, and now they're getting their 1-0 in the series.
Quantum Freaks 1-0 up against KT. A little bit too much scaling on their side, but just great play.
Deliver again in game 2, because the amount of damage he did, kind of absurd. You know, and how much of it is relevant damage, especially when there's a Sejuani with Warmogs and a Senna with Sustain, well, who knows, but regardless, it was a clean game played out from Quantum Freaks. One little hiccup with the Baron, and other than that, you can see the gold graph pretty smooth. And now a support pick for Beryl. A lot of these engaged supports have been trimmed down.
Oh, he's just going to do it.
They're going to go for the Seraphine.
That would be very interesting, and there it is. So, of course, Beryl, a big fan of any champion that has range and can do some damage.
Yeah.
Oh, the Blitzcrank! Yeah. There it is!
I was going to say, your options here, you try and match scaling for scaling, or you go for a kill lane. And I think it's pretty clear they've gone for the kill lane.
Well, it is a very different looking draft. A little bit more early power here for KT. We'll see whether that can get them across the line as we dive under the Rift for game 2.
You know, I feel like some chromas are like, people have their preferences, like, okay, they're skin a different color, but I feel like Zach got the most value out of just a chroma.
Oh, yeah.
Doing so much for the champion.
The skins team really has a rough time when it comes to Zach, though, as casting not quite able to get the W off. That is not as ruthless as he wants to be.
They're dialed in, they're focused. Ooh. It's mano a mano.
True. Well, you can see casting, he started it up. Ruthless Predator going to connect this time around. He's got the dice ready. It's almost just a solo kill as the flash forward from Pyosik is going to guarantee it. Dudu didn't press his flash button, so that is good news, but still, first blood on the top side of the map once again for KT.
All good at like bursting out one target, so the value for the Seraphine may not be as good as Andal got in that game 1. Oh, Beryl.
Yeah, able to sidestep the hook. Andal down to about 50%, but Def not wanting to walk into the fog of war. You've got captive audiences all over the place. Yeah, this is
unhealthy.
Somewhat subpar as old here. He's jumped a little bit further forward than he would otherwise like. Is casting once again almost towards a solo kill, and is now looking to try and deliver this one over to BDD. It doesn't quite work out, and casting's going to have to tell. Oh! He walks back and gets himself killed. He was like, no, Dudu, you deserve this one. And that's why they didn't pick Talia in game number 1 to make sure that his debut wasn't against a champion that he has struggled into the past. That is a great shove, though, from BDD onto Andal, but already it started off poorly here for KT. A 1-for-1 in the end. Support for jungler as now Beryl. That encore was not it. Now Def will finally turn up. Another phenomenal seismic shove going to come in as Def finally has the arrows, but it's just not going to be enough. Leaper dives on top of him, and it's a triple, almost a quadra kill for Bulldog, but Leaper takes it in the end. And the seismic shoves are really good. I feel like BDD played it quite well, but Bulldog just right-clicked. And now Andal's in the top lane, and that is a nice little hook. Going to be set up brilliantly there. The Dominus not quite going to be enough, but at least the Q doing some work. And now a flash forward from Pyoshik finds the punch under the Camille once again. And Casting just kind of masterfully baiting the whole situation. And it looks like we're going to be evening out these dragons unless Quandong Freaks have something to say about it. Blast Cone available for Cuz, opts out of it here as the Drake is going to be picked up. Hook once again going to be walked away from by Beryl. He is an expert at that one as Cloud Soul coming in. Yeah, maybe if the hook had landed from Andal, then everything's different. As soon as the hook doesn't land, they back away from it. There it is, landing this time around. Very easy on a stationary target. And Deft now just getting completely torn to shreds. Valkyrie forward from Bulldog, cleanse from Deft. He gets out of dodge, but BDD may not be in a good enough position. And now Casting, he's making his way in 3 low health members. This is so scary. And the seismic shove onto the rocks from BDD. And he secures his target. And now this huge Crocodile is looking for Leaper. He does have a trap in place. Also looking like a different player to what Perfect was, right? I feel like Perfect was often one of these more utility-based top laners. So I'm going to have to hold that thought for a moment. BDD in trouble. Hook going to connect. And there it is. Encore not going to be landing here either as Andal just trying to get out of there, and will be able to do so. Cuz tanking up the turret for him.
Yeah, good teammate Cuz tanking that one up for him. Very long CC chain.
Yeah, I feel like that snare lasted for way too long. I was like, hang on a second, are we going to have a pause? But we did. It was just Andal, and it is just as intended as
I
now.
don't think you're playing this. I don't think there's any...
No. Can you get the ultimate out of Pyoshik is the question, I guess, that you can ask, and the answer is no, you can't. As Pyoshik going to do some Overwatch tactics here as he's looking to try and, you know, stagger the back, stagger the resets.
That's pretty big because Dragon's up in 20 seconds, so... Very long stun, but you can see now KT, they know Bulldog's still down, still unavailable. Oh, and a great wall as well. KT have just come alive since game 1.
And I think it might have something to do with this Talia for BDD. He has been extraordinarily good on this champion throughout his entire career, and the Aurelion Soul was just kind of a non-factor this time. He's kept up in farm and is an absolute threat in this mid-game. Really good to see. So KT able to keep up with the momentum that Quandong Freaks have been looking for themselves. Otherwise, things pretty even as far as farm is concerned across the board. You know, slight lead here for Casting, but that has only recently occurred. 3,000 gold mainly coming from, you know, a bit of extra turret money as first turret blood going over to KT. And they do have 6 grubs as well. And so that means that these turrets could continue to fall. Top lane is in dire straits, as we can see. And Casting not going to be looking to topple that one just yet, but BDD on a split push as well towards this bottom side. So finally some momentum in KT's hands. So 3 games looking like a possibility. And that is all we really want here. Because yesterday was the 6-game banger day, you know, and I was there for a little bit at the beginning, but I didn't really get to feel the magic of it, you know?
Imagine if it just kept going. Remember we had that really long streak last year of just 2-0 series? Imagine if we just had a 3-game series all the way.
Well, whenever a new person starts at the LCK, but whether it be on the global side or on the Korean side, it's always their responsibility how long the days are.
Yeah.
And so already, Dagon is guaranteed that we're getting 6 gamers, because he's here and he's a 6-gamer guy.
He's a 6-gamer guy.
And that was me when I debuted in OGN as well. I started off and it was just 6 game days for weeks on end. And I was really psyched about it, you know, because I was new. And Carsten John was just like, dude, why do I have to be here all the time? Forever and ever.
No free.
It's your fault.
I think Leaper's going to be able to base and get IE, yeah. Well, it's not as bad for Leaper, but for Bulldog, oh, they're looking for play.
Yeah, although this is kind of just Cuz right now. He's just fighting Casting. Dudu will eventually make his way down and does try and keep him in position. There is the Dominus. They do have the dice as well. Casting is actually not wanting to use it because he has teammates coming down as well, and Quandong Freaks starting to realize that they have overstayed their welcome. Good flash from Cuz that has to use it to get out of the way of the arrow.
Legitimately, I actually think he could have 1v2'd there. If
I
they
was
like,
kind of thinking that.
I think Dudu and Cuz suddenly realized, like, okay, we've got it, and they're like, wait a minute. Back in the day in the LCS, where like a fight came down to like 30% crit Corky critting 3 times.
Yep, it was probably double lift as well.
I'm ready for it to happen here.
Yeah, as okay, the Dragon down to 50% as now Andel's just flashing forward, manages to get the hook, but he's taking so much damage. He's first one to go down. BDD goes golden as well to survive through it, and now the Ash is tearing them to shreds. Casting gets amongst it. He's going down like paper, like you were saying, but Deft is still raining hell on them. There's the Weaver's Wall. The flash comes out from Dudu, and Kwangdong Freaks are just pushed away from this Dragon Pit.
And they do it kind of fast. Maybe they can get this in time, actually. This might just be the
going
play.
so incredibly quickly. Yeah, and KT, you probably knew exactly what was happening here. You saw all of them converge, but that is just a free Baron. It's a hook as well, as now Beryl, he had to flash to get out of the way of that one, but he cannot flash again, so he's just dead. So it's not only a Baron, but it's also a pick. Def trying to offer some damage back, but the damage has been done.
That thought went through my mind. Kwangdong Freaks just dialed in.
Oh
no.
And now Def gonna have to go with some fancy footwork here as Pyoshik not having. Oh, okay.
Not even close.
Yeah,
You know.
I was thinking that as soon as that controller was kind of ignored in like this weird way, that it just wasn't going to be enough. Is Arrow going to connect onto Leaper here? He flashes over the wall after the cleanse. That's both summoner spells now down. Weaver's Wall coming in. Arndil in no man's land, and Dudu is with him, and is now casting. Is going to come in. The Hextech ultimatum to try and avoid some of the damage, and Kwangdong Freaks get the first 2 kills of the fight. BDD looking for more. The health bars are so incredibly low. Is BDD finally able to go into that Zhonya's to keep himself alive? Leaper finds the shot and just ends the Renekton, and now Cuz flashes forward with the Bramble Smash, and that is the ace for the Kwangdong Freaks.
Vaguely tanky. They have bruises. I honestly think BDD. Oh.
Okay, Cuz looking for an opportunity here as the Weaver's Wall comes down. Beryl is going to get almost hit by the final shot, but he was out of the curtains.
Yeah, I was going to say BDD with the Zhonyas and the Seraphs and the Leandries might be one of the tankier members on the squad, which says a lot. He's convincing us. He's slowly doing the work.
I tell you what, though, the main thing that I really didn't like was lethality Jhin. That just felt terrible.
Now you have a bit of both, you know, bit of lethality, bit of crit,
yeah,
a lot of damage.
Yeah. I like the crit version a whole lot more as Seismic Shove going to go wide. There is the Nature's Grasp as okay, Andel not going to quite find the hook as there it is. Cease and desist, and they say no to Bulldog. He is very, very dead. KT finding a little bit of respite here. Doesn't have cease and desist now, but there's the Weaver's Wall from BDD. Looks for the opportunity on the Leaper, who just walks over to the side. Andel might be taken down here as Pyoshik in trouble. Def just flying forward, finds the Jhin. BDD once again and expertly used Zhonya's just to bait them through. And Dudu couldn't find anything for it, and KT have come alive. As now Baron has been started. Okay, Cuz up and available. Dudu doesn't have teleport, remember, so this is going to be KT's advantage with all 5 members here. They've got the healing from the Seraphine as well. They just need to keep Cuz out of the pit. That is all they have to do. Is now Bulldog. He is once again going to eat a cease and desist, and he's all by himself. Casting dives over the Baron wall as well, and KT, an expertly played Baron. They will be able to lock that one down in trade. They might be able to get there, as Dudu actually decided to go back to the wave to try and challenge. This inhibitor is not long for the world, so they want to get at least something. But Casting, he goes back. The curtains have now been called, and the Weaver's Wall will be able to knock Leaper out of it, even though the Edge of Night was there as BDD. He's getting taken down low, but he has that Zhonya's. As now Bulldog going to get pushed back. BDD thrown into the thick of things, though, as there's Leaper's cleanse, and Casting trying to get up there, but he can't really do it. Dudu is just a monster as Beryl's flashing away, and they've lost both of their carries, and now Leaper, another just explosion of crit damage on top of this Renekton. Beryl can't do anything. And this new 80 carry for the Kwangdong Freaks is popping off.
He's doing so much work. KT overcommitting to the base. Perfect lineup for not only the Jhin ult, but the flank that comes through. And now it's only the Vi alive. The death timers are long. The waves are there. They're going to look for the end here and now.
Let's see what they can do. They've got that wave turning up towards that bottom side. They can tank up these turret shots as well to try and keep this wave alive for as long as possible. Pyoshik, he's going to need a miracle, but I just don't think he's going to be able to buy enough time. He needs 13 seconds on BDD, and he just will not have it. The Kwangdong Freaks, a 2-0 in their debut match of summer. Leaper comes out and says, World Championship bottom lane? Nah. That's not what I'm interested in. Another hook for Arndil. And the Kwangdong Freaks take the 2-0.
top in the damage charts on Maokai.
As usual, yeah.
Definitely felt like a team effort in this one.
Certainly did.
2024 LCK 서버 KT를
Thank you very much. This is Dear for the POG interview translation, joined by Andal and Leaper on the side of Kwangdong Freaks, who just took a 2-0 victory against KT. Congratulations!
네, 안델 선수 스프링 정규 시즌에도
And
한 번씩
in
승리를
the
주고받았던
regular
양팀이었는데요.
spring season,
오늘은
both
2대
teams
0으로
exchanged one
완승을
win
거두셨습니다.
each.
승리
But
소감
you had a
들어보겠습니다.
clean 2-0 victory today. How do you feel?
솔직히 막 엄청 저희가 이길 거라고 생각을 하고
To be
하진
honest,
않았는데 또
I
막상
didn't
플레이가
really
다 잘
start the
풀리고
game
팀들도
thinking
다
that we're going
잘해줘가지고
to win,
너무
but I
좋고
feel like all the team
김영희
fights went
형,
really
저보다
well.
이제
My
김영희
teammates
형이
did really
좀
well.
많이 엄청
And
이기고 싶어
Leaper,
했는데 이겨서 좋습니다.
I know Leaper was
맞습니다.
so eager to win, and I'm really
완벽한
happy that we were able
네,
to secure
최근형
that.
리퍼 선수인데요. 그토록
And
원하던
Leaper,
LCK 무대에 서게 되셨습니다. 첫 승리를 거둔 소감 들어보겠습니다.
You're finally here on the LCK stage. How do you
시작
feel?
전까지는 제가 아직 프로 게이머가 됐다는 게 실감이 안
Before the
났고
stage,
일단
it was really
엄청 많이
surreal the
떨렸는데
fact that I made it
게임
as a professional
시작하니까
gamer,
아,
and
내가
I was
진짜
really
프로가
nervous.
됐구나.
But once
이제
I
최근형이
started
아닌
and got into the
리퍼로
game,
불릴 수도 있겠구나라고 생각했는데
I
이겨서 다행인 것 같아요.
really felt, and it came to me, it hit me that I am Leaper, not just 최기명, and that I am a truly professional gamer in the LCK, and that I made it this far.
옆에서
And
또
Andal,
걷는데 계속.
And when you saw Leaper, did you notice any nerves from him?
김영희 형이
Yeah,
평소에도
I feel like he was
좀
pretty
긴장을
nervous.
하는데 오늘 긴장을
Leaper,
많이
he
했는지
tends to
출발
complain a
전부터
lot,
하루 종일
and
찡찡거리면서
you know,
도착해서 세팅할 때도 찡찡거리고 하루 종일
he was
긴장된
nagging at me a lot.
찡찡거리더라고요. 근데
He
또
nagged at
플레이하는
me
거 보면
all day
긴장한 것
today,
같지도 않아서
but
대체질인 것
the
같습니다.
moment we went into the game, I feel like he didn't play as if he was nervous at all.
보여주신 것 같습니다. 리퍼 선수 오늘 데뷔전이라 굉장한 이슈가 됐었는데요.
And Leaper, this
최기명
was your
선수가
debut,
덕을 느끼게 만들었던
which was a pretty
빅
hot
선수와의
topic today.
대결이었습니다.
And
그런데
you
오늘
were
그
against
벽
Steph,
제대로
who you
부수는데
said was
성공하지
like a
않았나
wall you
싶습니다.
couldn't
데프트
climb,
선수와의
and
대결
you
어떠셨나요?
successfully broke down that wall. So how was your matchup against Steph today? Yeah, I grew up watching Deft,
너무 설렜고요. 일단 선수 대 선수로 하기
so
전에
I feel like I was
제
just really
부상이었던 사람과
excited.
경기를 한다는 거에 너무 영광스럽고
Being able to
이제
play against
그만큼
someone who used to be my
준비를
role
잘
model is
해야겠다
just such a
생각해서
big
준비를
honor.
열심히 했는데
And I feel like that's just how much I really wanted to win, and I prepared so hard,
그리고 또 안델
and I
선수도
put in my
오늘
best.
또 오랜만에 배웠잖아요. 체중도 증량했다고
And Andal, it's been a while
건강을
since
잘
we
챙긴
had
것
you
같은
here.
모습인데 건강은 좀 어떠세요?
And we can see that you gained some healthy weight. Have you
다행입니다.
been taking care of yourself?
건강한 안델,
Yeah,
앞으로 또
I have
확실하게
recovered
다른 모습
and I
보여주실
am
수
quite
있나요?
healthy now.
네, 보여줄 수 있을 것 같습니다.
아 좋습니다.
Yeah, I
리퍼
think
선수가
I should be
느끼기에는
able to
바텀은
show you
어떤지도 궁금합니다.
My healthy self from now on. And
솔직히
Leaper,
말하면 다른
how
팀에
did you feel
비해서
about the
그렇게
bot
좋다고
synergy?
생각은 안 들긴 해요. 왜냐면은
I personally don't believe that it's as good as other teams' bot synergy. It's because a lot of other teams, they seem to communicate a lot between each other, but I tend to not talk too much in game. And I feel like just trying to catch up with the play, it kind of hinders me from communicating with Andal, but I tried. I'm definitely working on it right
안델
now.
선수 1세트 서포 픽을 끝까지
And
숨기다가
in game one, Andal, you guys were hiding the support pick until the very end. And once the opponent picked Senna Tom Kench, you locked in Seraphine. So what strength were you looking at here?
좋아서 근데 밸류도 좋은데
So Senna has really good value, and she's also very good at sustaining in the laning phase.
밸류도 좋고 템포도 좋다 생각해가지고
And since we believe that AP support Seraphine would be really, AD carry Seraphine is actually really good in the laning phase. And that's probably why we ended up picking her against Senna.
입모양 보고 저희는 추측을 해봤는데
And yeah,
블리츠를 적극
you
추천한
guys-
사람이 있었을까요?
The opponent took Seraphine away, and you guys revealed a surprise blitz pick. So who was a strong advocate for this?
생각하면 저는 이제
Yeah, our coach was actually the one who really wanted us to play
괜찮은 것
Blitz.
같아가지고 했는데
And yeah, we had some practice with Blitz, but I feel like we didn't really execute it too well.
리퍼 선수 광동에게 불리한
Leaper.
흐름을 흘러갔던 이 세트였는데요. 승리를 확신한
So
순간은
game
언제
2
졌는지도
wasn't actually
궁금합니다.
going so well for Kwangdong for the most
마지막에
part. But
굶기고
what
이제
at
탈리아
what
공이
point were you
끊긴
sure of
다음에
victory?
레넥톤이 이렇게
After we cut off the
제가
Talia
레넥톤 때릴
ult,
때 레넥톤이 앞으로 있었을
I
때
think
이겼다고 생각했어요.
이야,
Renekton,
저희가 그래서 그
was actually
미드에서 마지막
overextended with
한번
his
봤거든요.
E,
그
and
장면
I
같이
was able to
한번
catch him out. I think that's probably the point where
보겠습니다.
we
이
were
장면
sure
보면서 한번
that we won.
이야기해주세요.
이때
Let's take a look at the replay. Can you walk us through this?
살짝 멀었는데
Yeah.
뒤에서
So
블리츠가 잘
Talia
본
actually
거에
stopped my
탈리아를
ult, but
마무리를 잘
the
했고
Blitz was
여기서
able
이제
to roam and
앞라인을 쳐야
flank a
되는데
lot.
제가 저기로 가면 레넥톤이 막
And the way that
마크가
we
너무
picked
쉽게 돼서
out
제가 차라리
the-
레넥톤 죽여야겠다 싶어서 오른쪽으로
the
가면서
Talia, and then how we were able to follow up
최대한
into
했던 것 같아요.
CCing the Renekton. I think my main focus was to cut off the Renekton here, and it went really well.
이런 이야기가 나올 정도로 멋진 한타로 승리를 견인을
Yeah,
하셨습니다.
what an amazing
안들 선수 오늘
team fight from you guys.
승리를 했잖아요, 광동
And
프릭스가.
Andel,
다음 상대는 바로
after
OK
today's victory,
victory입니다.
you will be facing OK Savings Bank Brion for the upcoming Saturday showdown. What is your resolution?
브리언전 때 제가 많이 안 좋은 모습을 보여드렸었는데
I don't think I
이번에는 또
performed very well
잘
against Brion
준비해가지고
last
더
spring,
확실하게
so
이길 수 있게 연습해서
I want to make sure that we are
리퍼 선수 오늘 성공적인
we can
데뷔전을
secure the
치르셨는데요.
victory
앞으로
next time we
LCK에서
see
어떤
them.
모습을 보여주고 싶으신지
And
목표
Leaper with the
들어보도록 하겠습니다.
successful debut stage,
제가
what can we
인터넷
expect you
방송할 때 약간
from you in the
멘탈적이나
LCK?
멘탈적으로 약간 플레이적으로
I feel like
약간
when I was a
부족한 게
streamer,
많았는데 프로를 하면서
I lacked
많이
in that
성장해서
mental
이제
fortitude, but
광동
I believe that I
프릭스를
grew a lot
원하시는
from my
약간
professional
부럽지 않게
career so
열심히
far.
해보겠습니다.
And I want to be
좋습니다.
a
제가 앞서
player
보니까 리퍼 선수의
that
시그니처
someone
포즈가
that I
있는
can
것
be
같더라고요.
proud of.
네, 마지막으로 혹시 카메라 보면서 보여주실 수 있나요? 네, 한번 보여주면서
You wanna
팬분들께도
give us
한마디
your-
부탁드리겠습니다. 리퍼 선수 그럼
your
시그니처
ceremony?
포즈 보여주시죠.
Your signature pose, please.
네, 여러분 리퍼 선수 앞으로 데뷔전 치렀기 때문에 많은 응원 부탁드립니다. 마지막으로 팬분들께 한마디
Please give it
부탁드릴게요.
up for Leaper, and please share your
많이
goals and
부족한
resolution for
저에게
the
늘
fans.
많은 관심과
Leaper.
사랑을 보내주셔서 감사하고요. 그거에 대해 보답할
Thank you
수
so
있게
much
열심히
for all the
하겠습니다.
support that you've been
네,
sending
승리
me. I hope
축하드립니다.
that I can
오늘
repay you
2대0으로
guys
승리한 광동
with
프릭스였습니다.
great
축하드립니다.
performances in the
감사합니다.
future. And that's the end of the interview with Angel and Leaper of Kwangdong Freaks. And back to the space. Thank you.